Hashtag #RFLASPY with Bike With Me 12 graffiti around Townsville. Although I did suggest I would discuss some public art in this video, there is too much around town to share with graffiti too. I will make a separate video on that later in the year. So much of the contemporary world is plain ugly. Places that retain their heritage building look better than the myriad of modern constructions that seem to stick into nature itself as an assertion that they will conquer. A little fight back with colour is not so bad. This is an example coming up of street art where some artist is usually commissioned or given legal permission to decorate the side of a building, fence or even trains. Townsville has a rather famous piece of graffiti. In 1962, a student prank generated a lot of controversy by putting up on the side of Castle Hill an unlikely icon, and that is a picture of the famous saint. Now, the Bulletin magazine or newspaper owned by Murdoch, which is coming up now, did a survey back in 2003 and found that the people, 54% of the people saw the saint there as an icon and 25% as graffiti. There's some more public art, and I find that sort of stuff really quite questionable. And this is what I complain about, this ugliness that's all around. So when you do find some bit of interesting colour on some building or the like, that's a police paddy wagon. That's why I'm stopping at the light, which is red, but never mind. Picture theatres to my left. And just beyond this is that big railway yards, which I featured before, some of the more older heritage buildings. And of course, people, graffiti artists get in there and they will decorate the sides of the buildings. Now there's a lot of reclamation to be done because there's asbestos and chemicals in the soil here, and you can't just get rid of it. But you can just still see there in the distance graffiti marking those walls. Okay, so I'm heading out through the rather boring streets of Townsville, and I want to talk about what graffiti is to me, and it's all about political statements or personal artistic expression, and sometimes it can strike in the night. At a rather basic level, it's like unwelcome weeds, a weed being a plant out of its natural habitat. Some weeds have virtue as popular garden or house plants, while others are toxic and costly nuisance. Australia has many toxic plants introduced during Victorian times as hardy garden flowers that have escaped to cause considerable damage. Patterson curse is one, pretty and purple, and kills horses and native animals with it. Now this part of town is where the basketball stadium is, and there's a skate park here, and there's a legal graffiti wall where young people can use their marks, and I like these because they're whimsical, they're social comments that create a vibrant visual environment. And this wall is constantly repainted, like every week. And of course, I'm just getting a little bit closer. This is the topical one at the moment, COVID. And these pictures here have changed dramatically. Even the garbage bin is graffiti, rather Picasso-like. And these were taken a little while ago, and it just shows you the changes. Now going over to the skate park itself, there is graffiti all around the walls of it, and that's fine. This is where young school-age kids come to skateboard and do their biking tricks and the like. And it's also police protected, so they're safe in this environment during the after-school hours they use it. And some of them I really like. it's a bit hard to negotiate with my fat bike around this. This is not designed for fat bikes. I rather like that little rude figure there. That's what you call graph writing, and graph writing sort of predominates in this video. Unfortunately, it shows a bit worse for wear due to our harsh climate that eats paint and skin alike. But when it is well done, it's really quite interesting and very colourful. And my favourite one out of this set in this particular area are the skulls that are coming up. And they've been there for a while and they keep getting refreshed every so often. And I think it's a wonderful symbol. Now, a bit further along, we have a TAFE College, which, and opposite that is a nursing home with a wall down in the gully, and you can see a myriad of graffiti, and there's probably about 60 or 70 down there. And some of the better than others, because there's the TAFE College where, of course, art courses are done, so some are going to be much better than others. Unfortunately, of course, the flood event did some damage to a lot of these, and some are just better than others. There are many names for the techniques and pictures I'm showing, but I stick to the lexicon I know. So the scripts are letter forms, and of course if they're repeated over many years, they can make the street artist a cultural icon. There are none so famous in this part of the world other than the saint that I spoke about. And I think that some of those political ones there with Black Power are rather obvious, and then you have others which are rather difficult to decide what they're talking about. But I love the alien ones and the two coloured ones, you know, the black and white or just two colours. I think it's rather clever to be able to do that. Okay, so I think as long as it's legal, then you can call it an art. Bike with me 13, the unknown that turns my wheel. Thank you for viewing. Please like, comment and subscribe.